there's an advisory council meeting on Saturday, and if we've still got anybody that's entitled to go to that, it might be a benefit. This meeting might be a benefit to them.
When the issues that Eddie has highlighted in his blog throughout his campaign have not been addressed. Is the party almost bankrupt? And he said every party in the Western world is in the red.
Shelley Rose from the Luton and South Bedfordshire branch, Nazi MI5 agent and
They want to talk to you. I've talked people round in 10 minutes who are flatly against it, and quite frankly they're open to suggestion. And in fact, the only problem they find, I agree with all of the things you're saying to me, but we don't like your leader. And that's the baggage that we're all carrying here. And this gentleman's right down here, that the way to do it is legally and get it sorted out. Yeah. There are 3 things I hate in life. That's liars, thieves, and corrupt people in public office. Yeah. Right? Yeah. There's only one that you can lock up the tools from the thief. There's nothing you can do about the other 2 except to expose them totally. Expose them, and this is the method of exposure. What I say.
Richard Edmond, founder member.
Yes.
Steve Scott.
35 years ago, I don't know whether you know, but he was briefly a teacher at the infamous at the time, comprehensive school at Tulse Hill, which was a hotbed of red intrigue. And this is what he wrote 35 years ago. In this multiracial school, there are yet many British children from the homes of decent working class families of the neighbourhood. Many of these children do well and are a credit to themselves and their parents. But others give up, become apathetic or obstructive and sink into the slough of despondency. They feel themselves the children of a dying community, heirs to nothing but the second and last place, with little pride, no hope, and nobody caring or being responsible. That was 35 years ago in a small part of London. Now we all recognise that now in many other parts of the country, don't we? That's why we're here. One of the things I think we've got to do at this meeting is to try to assess what we think is going to happen to the BNP over the next few months and maybe the year. Try to anticipate the way Britain's going to operate.
Simon said he's taking this party deliberately into a path of destruction. Because we could be wound up before we do anything.
Practitioner appointed to investigate financial wrongdoings of the party, then they're quite within their rights to do it. I would be personally very supportive of that. And of course, if that were the case, and if the insolvency practitioner found wrongdoings, then he's got all sorts of powers to have transactions set aside, all sorts of things, powers to call for information, powers to call for records, powers to even visit third parties and find out information. So if we are believing that there has been some financial wrongdoing, which I personally believe that there has, that actually is, I'm very supportive of that.
Into long grass not heard until February, that the High Court can accelerate cases. They seem to have accelerated the hearing of this case, and it's going to be on the 7th of September. It really tells you that most people in this party really know the nature of this party, but for some reason, some silly reason, they're too frightened to act. And this, the tragedy is, this leadership election was the last good real chance to do something before we get slaughtered by the people coming to. The people who gave help, I can't even tell you who they are, because people get bad names in this party, usually undeservedly, and you become a pariah because there's a big propaganda machine at work. A lot of you here now probably didn't appreciate that 6 months ago, or a couple of months ago that there was this propaganda machine, and you were probably very loyal people in the party. You really looked up to Nick Griffin until the one day came along when you crossed his path, and then you're suddenly Mr. Bad Guy, aren't you?
The legal right to apply to a court to wind the BNP up. If it's wound up, it's put into the hands of the official receiver. The official receiver will take over all the parties' assets, the affairs, the books, the records, etc., etc.
Afterwards, Nick said, "Oh yeah, well, everything will be good, and if we'd let people come and look at the books, and if they're not really supporters of mine, I'd like them to look at the books even more because it shows how honest and truthful we are." Well, he's changed his mind on that already because Steve McColl, who he knows isn't a supporter of his, has been banned from looking at the books at the weekend. That's the way the man operated in this meeting after the nominations have been counted, and then candidly admitted it's £500,000. £500,000, that's what this man just did, with all the parties in Europe are in debt. Okay, we're all right, £500,000. Well, in this room that are owed money, probably amounts to something like £70,000. There's probably something like £70,000 worth of debt in this room.
I think we should, if we're wanting to get the members on board with us, that see us as an example, we can't go down the road of antagonism like Nick does, because people are seeing Nick for what he is, and they've seen this whole election process as a fraud, really. And we don't want to go down that road. We want to set an example, because we're trying to say that when we run this party, we're going to clean its image up, and I don't think by doing those kind of stunts that will give the right message.
I've now been suspended for over 2 months. I don't consider that the shortest possible time. They also say an inquiry will be carried out, an investigation, that's the word, investigation will be carried out. You will be informed of the result. Not a word about tribunal, nothing to do with common justice, nothing to do with law, either procedure or otherwise. I mean, the thing is an absolute nonsense. A nonsense.